Hey guys, for today's look we are going to be using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Blood Sugar palette. This is by far one of my absolute favorite palettes in my collection, hands down. I absolutely love how it has all the red tones in there as well as the purples, and it also has like that really cool cavity shade, that neon pink. I honestly just cannot get enough of this palette. Yesterday I put a poll up on my Instagram story asking if you guys would rather see a tutorial using the Blood Sugar palette or a tutorial using the James Charles Artistry palette, and this palette literally won by like 65%, which is really insane because normally my polls usually get about like 50-50 or like 51-49, but with this one having like that 65%, I was like, dang, they really want a tutorial with it. Which by all means, I absolutely love that you guys chose this one because it's one of my favorites and I always like an excuse to use it. For today's look, I also wanted to do something a little bit different than what I have been seeing on Instagram. It seems like a lot of the looks that I have been seeing personally are either like super red or they are like neon pink. And for today's look, I really wanted to do something a little bit more on the purple side because the purples are some of my absolute favorites in the palette. And I also wanted an excuse to wear glitter, and I thought purple glitter would be so cool with this palette. But yeah, if you guys would like to see how I did this look, just stay tuned on watching. And also in the description box down below, I'm going to include some other tutorials that I did with this palette in case you are interested. So first I'm going to set my eyeshadow primer with a skin tone colored eyeshadow using a Real Techniques medium shadow brush. I'm just doing a super light layer too. I'm not doing anything really crazy pigmented. So I'm going to do things a little bit different than I normally do. So the first step I'm going to do is dip into Coma, which is this really deep kind of rich purple color, with a Luxie 231 small tapered blending brush. And then with Coma, I'm going to dip it right into my crease really heavily. Really focusing this color in the crease and then in this outer V. I'm not really bringing it upwards either. I'm really just putting the color in the crease just for some definition, since we're going to go darkest to lightest for this look. I know a lot of you guys like to go darkest to lightest, but personally I usually do the opposite just because I really like that like seamless blend that I get when I start with my transitional shade. But you know, for today we're going to do something a little bit different because why not? So the next shade I'm going to dip into is Extraction, and I'm going to go in with a Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush. And then with Extraction, I'm just going to kind of buff the edge of Coma, just ever so slightly. Now I'm going to go back in with that Luxie 231 and add a little bit more Coma into the crease, just to deepen things up, because when I added Extraction, it kind of took away from Coma. And I still really want that like deep rich purple in the crease. I don't know about you guys, but when Jeffree said that he was launching Blood Sugar 2.0, I got so excited. I absolutely love this palette. So I was so happy that he is kind of doing a second version of it because it's just such a pretty palette. I just wonder if it's going to be super red again or if it's going to be like really hot pink. Part of me wants to think that Blood Sugar 2.0 is going to be more like maybe pink or maybe like more purple. Because this one is pretty red, but it still has a lot of purple to it. So I kind of feel like maybe Blood Sugar 2.0 is going to be more like brighter pinks. I don't know. What do you guys think that is going to be in its shade range wise? I would love to hear what you guys think too. So the next shade I'm going to dip into is Cavity, which is the neon pink in the palette, with a Sigma E35 tapered blending brush. And then with this shade, I'm going to kind of go around the edge of Extraction, just ever so slightly. I'm really making sure I'm doing like these little circular motions to really blend out the color as well. Because I would just want like a really nice like little pop of hot pink. I don't want like a crazy amount. Just enough where you're like, oh, there's a little hot pink in there, but I don't want it to like overpower. I don't know if it's just me, but I am so overwhelmed right now with all the new releases right now. Seems like every brand is literally releasing something in late January or like mid-January at that. And it's like, I don't know what I want to purchase. It seems like everything is really similar. Seems like everybody is like releasing like concealers or foundations or, you know, really similar eyeshadow palettes. But I don't know, it just seems like there's so much at once that I can't decide what I want to try or if I just want to pass. I don't know. Do you guys get that way too? Like if everybody is releasing something, you just want to like shove it all away and not deal with it? The next shade I'm going to go into is Tongue Pop on a Morphe M507 brush. So with Tongue Pop, I'm going to lightly buff this around the edge of the eyeshadow just to kind of give it a little bit more of a gradient fade. This is definitely like an extra step. You definitely don't need to do this, but I just like the effect I get when I do it. It just kind of help kind of give us like that transitional shade from my skin tone to the hot pink and kind of tone it down just a little bit on the edge. So as always, I'm going to cut my crease using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Fair with a BH Cosmetics Flat Shader brush out of the Rose Gold set. If you guys would like to see a cut crease tutorial, just let me know in the comments down below. So once the concealer dries of the cut crease, I'm going to go into Luxie Beauty's Purple Haze. And with a dampened BH Cosmetics Flat Shader brush, I'm just going to apply this onto the lid. And then with whatever is left on my Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, I'm just going to kind of buff out this outer V and kind of get rid of this really harsh line that we have. So next I'm going to take a little bit of extraction on a Shayna B shadow brush and really kind of packing this right on this outer V kind of edge that we have. I don't want this really harsh line from Purple Haze, so this will help kind of get rid of it. And I'm just doing like light tapping motions too. I'm not really doing like sweeping motions because then we'll get rid of that glittery shade. So if you kind of do like back and forth or like little tapping motions, it'll really help to blend it out. Also, a tip for you guys if you're doing this, I highly recommend grabbing a compact mirror and looking down into it. It helps so much, so you are able to kind of see like the whole kind of eyelid and to see the crease, and you're just able to really get really precise this way. I'm honestly feeling super extra right now, so I'm going to go into this Pixi Beauty Liquid Fairy Lights in the shade Crystalline. And then what I'm going to do with this is apply it right onto my eyelid directly. I'm also going to take just a little bit and put this on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to take a Morphe M421 concealer brush. And then with this brush, I'm going to use it to help me kind of get real close up to my cut crease line. So here's where I'm at right now with the look, and then off camera, I'm just going to apply the rest of my face. And then for the lower lash line, I'm just going to take whatever is left on my 231 Luxie brush, just lightly run it underneath the eye. And then for my inner corner highlight today, I'm going to go into my OFRA Cosmetics Pillow Talk highlighter with a Luxie 217 pencil brush. And then I'm just going to literally pop this right into my inner corner. But yeah, so here is the complete and finished look using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Blood Sugar palette. I honestly absolutely love this palette. It is by far a huge staple in my collection. I honestly don't know what I would do without this palette, especially since I am such a sucker for reds and purples. And you get so many options of different types of looks that you can do with this palette, so it is definitely worth purchasing if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this look, as well as let me know what your favorite palette of 2018 was. Personally, mine was Blood Sugar and Gemini, but let me know what your favorite is down below as well. As always, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below, and if you would like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kitten. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and until next time, bye!